Welcome to the Denim and Pearls podcast. Business casual conversation laced with pearls of wisdom. Casual, authentic, unscripted dialogue about life, work, and entrepreneurship with the perfect blend of laughter and seriousness. Pull up a chair, kick back, and lean in as we welcome your hosts, Michelle Mross and Brian Swanson.
There it is. We found it.
Hello, welcome to Denim and Pearls. My name is Michelle Mross.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
And we are business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the proverbial porch.
You just love that word. That's all.
I like proverbial. I don't know why I like to say it, but I do. Anyways.
It's like saying those other big words that we learned as kids and they just kind of became favorite because they sounded so cool.
Plethora.
I
love plethora and proverbial.
So we have a plethora of information for you today.
A plethora of proverbial quotes from Denim and Pearls today. So
however, before we do what?
We do have to do our sponsors.
Oh, is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
Well, we were thinking the same thing.
Thank you so much for our sponsors. We have iBuildSEO.com. You'll see the mid-roll, A2promos.com, which is all your swag needs, Ink182.com, all your embroidery and screen printing needs, and embellishbutterfly.com for all of my blingy things, whatever you want to do for that special gift for those special people. And then we have europeanheels.com/discount/Marcel for all of my really cool.
How come these are all yours?
They are. Get on it, buddy.
I just noticed that.
For all of my shoes that I like to wear. Yes.
For my bling and for my shoes.
You need sponsors. Brian needs sponsors. So if you're a Men's Warehouse who'd like to give him shirts.
Hey, there's an idea.
That would be awesome. And I'd like to reach out to anyone from Ann Taylor. I'd love to wear your clothes on.
I actually love Ann Taylor.
Not
that I've ever worn them. I'm not that kind of man, but I do love Ann Taylor because I actually was in Kansas City, which is where one of their major shops is. Mm-hmm. And we were in downtown Kansas City and it was just gorgeous. And they had these beautiful sundresses or something. And this is when I was about 19. And I'm just like, I really like this place. It's really cool.
Ann Taylor has great clothes.
As far as their quality goes, I have no idea.
Their quality is top notch. Just FYI, I fit their clothes perfectly. So, if you have any insides on
it's meant for short people?
They're meant for petite people, yes.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I don't think they do anything over a size 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm. Meant for petits.
Okay. How can they find us, Brian?
If you want to find our silliness, you can always go find us and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Rumble channel and Facebook and all those other things. And then, of course, if you want to hear us just, our audio portion, you can always go to the podcast, your podcast favorites as far as Apple and Spotify and yada, 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 yada.
Oh, I also thought of another sponsor for you. Anything that does with electronics, if you'd like to be a sponsor.
Audio.
Yeah, audio. This man's an audiophile.
Pro audio. I need pro audio equipment. The good stuff.
So what are we talking about today, Brian?
Well, first of all, also check out DenimAndPearlsLive.com where you can find out everything we just talked about.
Denim and Pearls.
And now that we're 3 minutes into our advertising, what are we talking about today?
I have no idea. I just want to be unconditionally honest with you about... See how I did that?
That was a really bad lead-in, but okay.
Our title today is Unconditional. Unconditionally you.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? Well, what does it mean to you?
Well, when I think of an unconditional, I think that there's no conditions set to our agreement.
Now, I was told that you can never use the part of the word in the definition.
Never. Well, yeah, you are kind of correct in that. There are no stipulations.
Perfect.
There you go. How's that? There is no stipulations to the agreement. In other words, you're making a deal, but that deal means that there's nothing that anybody's responsible for. That's it.
Well, and what brought that up is I spoke at a conference. It's going to be past tense. We're actually filming this, but the conference is on Thursday, but this show is Friday. So I spoke at a conference on Thursday that you just missed.
But when you do recordings, you're not supposed to put time frames in them. So anyway,
But that's what brought it
yes,
up.
the event is coming up, and yes, but I actually like the word unconditional.
Why?
It's just got a flair about it. But as far as its definition goes, there's a lot of things that we want to do, but we want to do them unconditionally. But also, unconditional seems like such a strong word too. It's another one of those. Right. It's one of those things like the word failure that, I don't like, that I think is
but
just
you
too
like
big of a
unconditional.
word. But unconditional is kind of cool, but it's still got one of those really hard knock, plain and simple. It's unconditional.
Well, and with me for unconditional when it comes to work, since we always talk about the work-life juggle, this first half is always about business. So unconditional for me would be I unconditionally give to my clients. Does that work?
That does work.
Mm-hmm.
So continue with that, or else we'll have no material today.
No, it's like if I take you as a client, I'm there for you all around. And if you need something, if I can't fulfill it, I will find someone that can help you with that. And, like I was reached out to today about someone needing a CRM and some way of tracking all that. And I don't say, well, what's my schedule? And this is what's going to cost you for me to tell you. No,
We all would love to do that.
Yeah,
that.
Here's
you
everything.
Talk to me. Here's my advice, and this is what it's going to cost you.
Here's everything I know, and here's all the connections I know. Here's a couple of the, here's how to get to them, and you might get the discount code because the links. Thank you. And this is how you get the discount code because I'm an affiliate with them, that kind of thing. So I unconditionally will serve. So in your business, do you unconditionally serve or do you have conditions?
Well, that goes right to the fact that the customer is always right.
Customer is not always right.
Well, they are according to business practices. I think it's changed over the years, but the customer is always right, which means you kind of have to unconditionally, I want to say service them or provide them service. That's a better word of transition there. But provide them that service based on their needs and based on what they're asking you, even if you don't. I mean, that's to me is unconditional.
Yes, I agree.
Now some of those people out there that like to complain about everything when they walk into your store, the customer's not always right.
Well,
but
we found that during COVID. I mean, we heard stories from my daughter all the time. She's in the retail store and she's like, if the customer's always right, I do. They're not. Sometimes they're lying to you and they're trying to get something from you. So you have to keep that unconditional correct. It's unconditional for the clients who are truly your clients.
Right. Well, the other thing is, I just totally forgot what I was going to say.
And I unconditionally accept the fact that you just went blank.
I had a total I had it and it's gone.
Was it something to do with the whole retail business?
It had to do with the retail business.
And the client isn't always right because sometimes they're in there doing something crazy.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
I knew
it. That's because I just told you earlier too. I've almost come to the conclusion that there's no such thing as common sense anymore.
Oh, no. There isn't.
Which kind of goes along with this unconditional kind of thing.
Unconditionally uncommon sense.
Yeah, there. But if you look at what's going on in our world today, there's a lot of decisions that are made and a lot of things. It's just like, I'll go back to the thing that I said earlier when we drove past the rec center, where it said, caution, sidewalks may be slippery with ice. Do you really have to put that on a sign that says, make sure you're careful?
Do you really have to say on vacuum cleaners, do not insert into body parts?
Or body parts into vacuum.
Yeah, do not insert body parts? No, because common sense does not exist anymore.
Well, it started out many years ago, and I kind of can remember some of this because to me, it kind of started out like in the 70s, where they would put warnings on the side of like soup cans. Oh, yeah.
What, like what?
When you cook this, it could be hot kind of thing.
Well, just like coffee cups say warning, contents may be hot.
Well, we all know the story behind
McDonald's.
I wasn't going to say that, but that major chain and their coffee incident and all that stuff. We all know that.
That was years ago.
Right. But we look at stuff at this point where it's like common sense doesn't play a part anymore. And if you read the instructions, do not wrap plastic bag around your head.
Do not use blow dryer in bathtub.
Now, what does that have to do with unconditional?
Because you have to unconditionally accept the fact that sometimes
That there is somebody that's that stupid.
you can't fix stupid. So you have to make parameters around it to keep them safe so you don't get sued. That's really what happened.
That's what we should have called this episode. Can't fix stupid.
We can fix it.
There's no hope for some of us, but
we enjoy our conversations a little too much, don't we?
But unconditionally going to your business, do you service your clients unconditionally? Do you give them what they need, what they ask for, within reason, of course?
Well, and can you find what they need if you don't have it?
Right. Or point them in the right direction. I mean, when I had the comic book store, people would come in and go, I'm looking for this. Do you go, I don't have it, have a good day? Or do you say, I don't have it, however, if you were to check with the other store down the street, they may have it.
But that's it. That's being unconditional to service.
Right. Because if I don't have it and you're looking for it, well, somebody else may have it. I can make a recommendation. Is that unconditional?
Yes. Because some people who do have conditions, they do, well, I'm not going to send them to my competitor. And it's like, you know what? You're the one who helped them find that piece, part, or widget, whatever it is, that service, and they will come back to you as the person that they need when they can't find something. Like Brian, I call him the go-to guy. I mean, the man can fix pretty much anything. And when in doubt, I always just do, Brian, can you fix this? And he'll do, probably. Let me look it up on YouTube. But when it gets to a point, he'll say, you know what? You might want to call my friend so-and-so. My friend does this. Right. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Right. YouTube is great. Honestly, I got to kind of swing over to that. YouTube is great because if you want to fix something or know how to fix something, or I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of times, like if you're working on your car, what happens if you pry on this and break it? And you think, okay, well, if I look it up, it'll tell me what kind of clips are on it or something like that. And I know where to put my spoon and
jerry rig it,
whatever the case may be, without breaking the part that I'm working on. So YouTube is great for things like that, but there's also some things that YouTube just can't come across as, and that's the professionalism and those talents that people have individually to actually do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So another thing on the unconditional, when I had the comic book store, I would read articles and do different things and hear different things. And there's such a stigma on men and women in a comic book store.
How's that?
Well, there are some comic book stores out there that have really bad raps because they didn't service the women that walked in the door. They thought that they could.
Their demographic were men.
Right.
Boys.
They thought their demographic was men, boys, whatever. Male. That's a good term. But if they seen a woman, they would ignore her, or a girl. They would ignore them. They would not give them the service that they needed for whatever book they were looking for or whatever. And I looked at it it's kind of an unconditional concept, but on the other side, I look at it from their money's green.
My dog says we're done.
I hear dogs. Shall I shut the door?
Yeah, shut the door. You can still hear him even though we shut the door because he's very loud.
So, but my thought of it is, my dad always gave me this thing when, we would be doing a road trip or something like that, and we would want to go to a restaurant. And mom would say, well, we're not dressed for that.
Oh.
We've all heard that one. But my dad's response was, my money's green, just like everybody else's. What does it matter what I look like? My money's green. So that's coming from the customer going into a place. Now, how do they accept you when you do go in? Now, I'm not saying go to a black tie restaurant in your Bermuda shirts and t-shirt. There are certain standards within certain areas. But on the other hand, if it's the only thing you have and you go in and you pay for your bill, what should they care?
Well, in those kind of restaurants, they don't let you in the door, so it doesn't matter. Or they'll give you a jacket with a tie and you walk in with that. But yeah, there's ways around things. So remember, when you are unconditionally being a servant to the people that are your clients or your customers, you got to weigh the differences between being unconditionally servicing, giving them service, providing them service, to being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. And that's where my line for unconditional goes. Do we have to go to mid-roll yet?
I think we're there.
Okay, because
we're
can't
really
see.
Close. Oh, what do you mean you can't see?
I can't see.
You don't have your
No, my right eye is not focusing. My left eye is focused, but my right eye is.
Do I need to check your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Let's go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
Contractors, do you need better cash flow, quality leads, better projects? Rise above your competition by proving you do better work. Make a solid first impression with strong reviews. Establish your credibility by showcasing your skills. Extend your reach so you can land better jobs with better clients. iBuild SEO will set you up for success with your search engine optimization, website development, social media marketing, content marketing, reputation management, review request system with the power of more, utilizing the construction contractor's digital dominance method. Book your time to speak with us today at ibuildseo.com and click on the Get Started Now button.
Thank you for joining us on the porch. We share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the porch is always serious, but full of laughter, and we're glad you're here with us. Like, share with a friend, and please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And remember, join the conversation every Friday at noon Mountain Time. We'll see you on the porch.
To be honest, I don't know why the banner's still running. I could turn it off. But that's what we're talking about, is being unconditional or unconditionally.
Or circumstances that are met unconditionally. And
Right.
This is based off of a song called Unconditionally, and it was based off of love. But let me say.
Well, wait a minute. Let's first of all, if you look up the word unconditional and you look it up, you Google it, of course. Exactly. Not only do you get quotes and stuff, but it's always some reason, since we're on the personal side of this, for some reason that definition is always associated with love.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I don't know, but the quote I have here is,
You just want to hit you to read the quote.
being unconditional means that our attitude towards a person is not depending on his or her behavior. Regardless to what the person does, we keep to our promises and we give him the help and protection he needs. Unconditional doesn't mean that we have to be 24/7 for that person.
Okay, now translate that to English for me.
That was English.
Oh.
It's everything we were just talking about, but now we're on the personal side. And as you said, every time you look up unconditional, it comes with love. And it's not just love. I think it's like love for humankind. It's for mankind, basically.
Right.
Because we're talking about the same thing with business. Give them the credit they deserve. That's
Right.
why we said weigh it with your business, because sometimes they're taking advantage of you, or it's a client who seeing how many free things they can get from you. But now on the personal side, unconditional love. The only people I have unconditional love for are my children. Everybody else has a meter.
Well, this is true. The one thing that comes to my mind when it comes to our families, if you will, is our pets.
Oh no!
I mean, I hear that all
I know
the time.
about Larry because he's a pain.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your personality. It doesn't, unless you're mean, of course. But it doesn't matter. They don't care about anything. Our pets are always there to love us because we feed them.
Well,
there's no stipulations around
unconditional love is from animals,
right?
Because there's a scenario where they say, it's terrible. Don't do this. It's a scenario. You lock your girlfriend or your boyfriend in the house, and you lock your dog in the house. Okay.
See which comes out first.
When you come home, which one's going to come greet you happily, right? The dog will still come and love you. The human, on the other hand, you got some fighting words in your future.
All I can think of is when, mom and dad always said, I didn't grow up with brothers and sisters. So I always heard this, that if the two siblings are fighting, you stick them in a room and see which one comes out bloody. You know who's guilty.
You know who's guilty?
They're the ones that come out bloody.
Oh,
because the one who's not guilty beat the heck out of the other one. That's what I was thinking of as you were saying, lock your boyfriend in the house.
Actually, I think the scenario is you lock them in a trunk, and who's happier to see you, the dog or the girlfriend, or the dog or the boyfriend? And it's like, that's horrible, but it's true. You'll be gone for like milliseconds. You put your dog in the kennel or something. You come back, they're like, oh my God,
yeah,
it's been so long. I love you so much. I miss you so much. I couldn't breathe. I thought you were never coming back. The human
But it's
does.
the same thing after 3
The
hours.
human does. Where have you been?
What took you so long?
What took you so long?
Or that was a short trip. I was expecting you to be gone longer.
Can you leave again? Yeah. So unconditional love, I only see from an animal's point of view, or a mother to a child, or a father to a child. But adults, we tend to put stipulations on adults. Yeah, I love Brian, but there'll be things he'll do and I'll do. No. Mm-mm.
Oh no, you do worse than that. I don't. With the mood you're in right now, I don't think you can recreate that look I get when you didn't play my song.
Here's my song.
Or why did you play that song?
No. More like is, why did you put that in?
Mm-hmm.
There, that's the look. Or
you know, your word is usually no. I'm like, you need to go to the car.
So unconditional.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, I actually DJ and KJ or karaoke DJ type of thing.
And I'm a karaoke, like,
she's a fanatic.
I'm a karaoke queen, diva, something, I don't know.
You don't even like when I talk nice about you.
No, because
the voice of.
And then he puts a stipulation on that everyone just assumes I'm going to be amazing. And if I'm not amazing, then he lied.
Well, yeah, but I've known you long enough that you are always amazing. I don't think I think there was one time that you were extremely exhausted or was something and your voice was gone and I'm like, yeah, you might want to get some sleep.
Yeah, I was dead dog tired.
I mean, that's one time in 3 years or 2 years, whatever it's been now.
I think it's been it's been 3 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But you're always amazing. So if I tell you you're amazing, I unconditionally typically mean that. So,
and I think he sets me up for failure.
No, it's not failure.
Yeah,
I mean, if you ask any of our followers, they all think you're simply amazing.
For those of them who know who I am.
And they unconditionally love you just for who you are.
See, he did it again.
See how nice that is?
Yeah, that's very nice. That
was awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to put conditions on that. Stop. The 8-year-old in me is stop putting the spotlight on me.
Well, sometimes we like to I mean, that is a kind of a give and take, though. Because sometimes we really want to hear what's great about us. But on the other hand, we don't want to hear it because we don't know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
Or we don't know how, we think we can't live up to it. That's a
really good topic, actually.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I have to admit, we've had this conversation before. Pretty much everything I've tried, I've done very, very well at. And I think the only thing I haven't tried that I may not be good at is, no, I haven't tried that yet. So I don't know.
You're no good at working on computers.
I'm actually pretty good at working on computers. Now, remembering what I do once I fix it, that's a whole nother thing.
Hey, it works now.
It works now. I have no idea what I did, but it works. But basically, I unconditionally trust myself to do things. And my concept is, I'm going to do it. If I fail at it, my learn is, I'm not good at that, improve it somewhere else. And so I don't see it as a failure. So I'm always going and going and going. You see me.
I'll see you're on my track now. I mean, not liking the word failure.
I've never liked the word failure because there is no failure if you learn.
Well, I've actually went back. I think there are different conditions, though, because writing the as you know, a lot of people know I'm actually writing this book. I'm actually making progress, but I'm learning the fact that I looked at it from one perspective when I was a kid. I look back at it now and I go, oh, maybe there were some failures in my life in those decisions that I made. However, I still learn, which I learned from. Yes. So to me, it's not failure. I mean, I can still kind of redefine it, but.
Well, I mean, was that Einstein or the guy who did WD-40? Yes. I didn't fail 39 times. I just didn't get the right thing 39 times. The 40th worked. Well,
all it is, most people don't know WD-40 is nothing but fish oil.
Yeah. And 40 was the 40th try at it.
Yep.
That's why he called it WD-40. It's the 40th try. Yep. And then Einstein did the same thing, or Einstein. No.
Not
Einstein, the light bulb guy. We're so intelligent today.
Edison,
thank you. It starts with an E. But yeah, it's like I didn't fail. That didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. Okay, that worked. Those aren't failures. Those were steps towards success. And really you have to, here's a good one. Unconditionally trust yourself
This is true. So it does. Yeah, it applies to you, your own self.
You can be unconditional to yourself because we're all so hard on ourselves. We are our worst critics. And if we could unconditionally love ourselves and say, you know what? I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I'll fix it. I'll do it again. And just keep getting back up. That goes back to the whole try again. And I don't like trying. I say do or do not.
You made a comment to me here a couple of weeks ago about not talking negative to myself because I did something and I went, well, that was stupid. That's my way of accepting what I did and realizing that I needed to do something different. It's not always about condemning myself. It's not about talking bad about myself or realizing that I'm stupid. It's typically the action that was stupid, and it shouldn't have pushed that button. I should have pushed the other button.
It just reminds me of Guardians of the Universe. I am Groot. I'm Groot. I'm Groot. No, not I'm Groot. I am Groot. Don't touch that button. So anyways, if you haven't seen that movie.
I actually do remember that.
I'm Groot.
I'm terrible at remembering those things. But
I'm Groot. No! So in my mind, it's unconditionally love yourself. And when I get on to Brian about saying anything condemning about himself, it's because I went through a lot of brain therapy after my brain injury. And so what I learned was whatever comes out of your mouth, your subconscious is listening. So your consciousness, your main part may do, well, I'm not talking about myself like that. I'm actually talking about touching the button. Your subconscious does stupid me, click. And it sets it in your mind that when something else happens, you do, God, that's just stupid of me again. And it's not that you're calling yourself stupid, your subconscious thinks it. So they rewired the way I speak to myself so that I would succeed in my growth pattern of getting my neurons coming back together again. That's why I'm really big about be careful what you say because your subconscious is listening.
I agree with that. But I'm going to use my classic word. I agree with that, but.
So when someone says the word but, everything they say before the word but
is
negated.
Exactly.
So he agrees with it, but in other words, he doesn't agree with it. Okay, but.
I agree with the fact of the subconscious and things like that. But I also believe in the conscious of it, of saying, my action was stupid or silly or
now if you
dumb
said
or something
if you
like
say
that.
now that's different. If you say pushing that button was stupid, that's different.
But I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use like text messaging to myself. Well, that was stupid. I mean, there's that idea of the fact that my action was stupid and my conscious
for Brian
believes that it was stupid.
So Brian, let me inform you that my brain was not connected to each other.
Well, that was then. This is now.
We had to reprogram my brain. And so since we had to talk to my brain in two different ways, be careful what you say. Your subconscious is listening.
Right. And that's why I say I agree. But did you just do what I think you just did? Did you stick your tongue out at me?
I stuck my tongue out at him because those of us who've been studying this stuff knows that
I am not playing your songs anymore.
Subconscious is listening. Be kind to yourself.
No more karaoke for you.
I'm gone for the rest of the month, so you'll forget by the time I come back in July.
This is true. You know, I start a new venue and you're there, what, one time? No, you haven't even been there, have you?
I've been there once.
Oh, you were there once?
Yeah.
And I've only been there
I just showed up late the time I came.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm traveling. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area.
This leads into you stuff.
Look up my page and find out. We're going to Washington, D.C. for a multiple book launch and signing. D.C. for July 3, 4, and 5. And then there's like a mover and shaker cocktail hour on the 5th. So look me up, ask me about it. Or look up D.C. multi-author something on Facebook.
Now, how do you expect them to find it that way?
You can Google, you can search in Facebook, DC multi-author launch, and it will pop up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's on your computer.
No, I've had other people find it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, no, other people have found it. Or just, message me and say, hey, Michelle, what about that DC thing? I can get there. I'll let you know.
Yep.
Just don't say, hey, baby. Hey, honey, how are you? I'll delete it. I get a lot of those. I delete them.
I want some of those.
If you would like to say, hey, baby, and hey, honey, hey, sweetheart, how are you? Please write to Brian. He has just gave full access. Go ahead, write him and say all those things to him.
But I don't want the pictures to go with it. Okay.
Oh, goodness. Neither do I. So anyways,
Yeah, I think this has been a
unconditional.
fun show.
Yes, it
What do you
has.
think?
I'm tired. Can you tell? I've been on like jury duty watch since yesterday. So I've been like kind of antsy thinking I was going to the
You're
courthouse
almost kind
today.
of giddy.
I am. I'm giddy that I don't have to go to the courthouse. I wanted to go, but I have so many things coming up that if I got on a court case that didn't end, I'm going to have to cancel flights. And that's what was in my brain. I'm like, oh, I've got a lot of shuffling to do. But anyways, I don't have to do it
I'm
anymore.
just thinking of the song that never ends. Anyhow,
Thank you so much
you
for
want to
joining
sum
us.
all of this up, unconditionally sum this up for us?
Unconditionally sum this up.
And then we'll go into our bye-byes.
Okay. Unconditionally sum this up. Unconditionally live. Be the best version of you and love yourself unconditionally. Be kind to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. And when you have business and you are being giving wonderful service to a customer, if you don't have that service provided, send them to someone you know who does. That is giving unconditional service. Until then, next week.
Make sure you fill up the M&M bowl.
I won't be here. You're going to have to bring a bag. Someone ate all my M&Ms.
I did not eat them down that far. Anyway.
I haven't been here. So anyways.
It must be your kid doing it. There we go.
Or the husband.
Ooh, I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, he's an M&M holic.
Y'all have fun now. Here. Peace.